Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Omnifactory. I got a rabbit here. I think I found a pet. I'm scared this happened earlier in the series actually. I think I sent a rabbit flying. I don't want to do the same. It's so cute. I have no idea how it got up here. I don't know what the spawn mechanics are, but... Haha! Alright, and we're going down. Please don't die. Yeah, so we're on episode 11. We got some stuff cut out for us. Last episode, we... Oh, am I on the wrong side of my house, actually? I'm getting lost. There's my blast furnace. It's running. It's doing its job. Last episode, we... What did we do? Oh, we upgraded our power a good amount. We ended up installing the isentropic reservoir augment in here, and that is working very well. Producing 600 RF a tick. And we got these new cables so that it... Oh, this isn't attached for some reason. I must have disabled that because I wanted to get a lot of power going to here. But I'm going to re-enable that, actually. What's it? West? Here we go. So yeah, this thing is pumping out power now, and hopefully these two CEFs should fill up relatively quickly. In between episodes, I've been smelting up a bunch of energetic alloys because we're going to need... a lot of those going forward, so I figured why not. We got plenty of glowstone and redstone and gold, so cannot hurt to stock up on it. So yeah, now we got a stack and a half. I've also just I made some more steel and then some dark steel as well. I wanted to get a stack of dark steel because I noticed that I could also get the quest for it. Cool. So we completed the quest for dark steel and energetic alloys to start things off. I don't know if there's any more. I can get vibrant alloys pretty easily, but it shouldn't be too hard to get these done in the future. So what I have planned for today is I want to try and get the next tier of processor. We made the primitive processor because we needed that to create our our assembling machine. But I want to make the electronic processor because for pretty much any... of the medium voltage tiers of any of these machines, we need to use processors where we were using circuits before. So we're going to need a good amount of them, and doing them in the assembler is definitely better than doing them in the workbenches, much like the circuits. So we have these electronic circuits, and it shouldn't be too hard to get these processors going. We already have fine copper wire and resistors, so we just need to make these transistors, which is just aluminum foil and some fine silver wire. We didn't already do that, did we? Maybe it was something else that was like that. Nope, I guess we haven't made any yet. But yeah, we just need some aluminum foil, so I'm just going to make a bit of that. So we need aluminum plates. And then the other thing was fine silver wire, which I think we might have a bit of. Oh, we have a whole stack of it. That's awesome. And then yeah, once we have transistors, it should be easy enough to make the resistors and the fine copper wire. Also, yeah, this is a way better... Okay. I wonder if some people are going to be yelling at me from a couple episodes ago when I was making resistors the bad way. But this is a much better way. If we have coal dust and copper wire, we can make tons of resistors. I'm just going to get a bunch of those rocking right now. Sure, we got some copper wire and a bunch of coal dust. Oh, wow. That's so much better than how I was doing it before. Just throw that in. And I might as well get some more copper wire as well because that goes quickly. This will, I think, yeah, 8 ingots will get a stack of copper wire. Actually, I'll do a bit more than 8. I'll do 2 stacks of copper wire. Of the fine copper wire, that is. And just like that, oh yeah, we got tons of resistors rocking. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have a bunch of resistors, and then the other thing we needed was just more fine copper wire, which we're making, and then the transistors, and then some tin, of course. We will end up making this soldering alloy eventually. I don't know why I always want to call it soldering. I guess it's how it's spelled, but it's definitely soldering. Yeah, okay. So we got some aluminum plates, and let's throw that in the cluster mill to make some of the aluminum foil. Cool. Also gonna start making those into fine wires. And now if we bring that over here for the transistor, we needed silver wire, rubber sheets. What's the other thing? And let's just make as many of these as we can, which is 16, which that works out perfectly because that was all of the fine tin or fine aluminum foil that we made. So we got 16 transistors, so that should be enough to make 16 electronic processors if we want that, but that's a lot of circuits. Let me just make a few. Hey, quest complete. So if I get 12 of these, that should be enough for 4 of these processors, which is, it's a nice little chunk to start out with. So to make 4 of them, I'm gonna need 4 ingots worth of fluid. And let me also, might as well use up the rest of this coal dust making resistors. Oh, that's so many. It's even less. It's the same amount of materials and without the paper for 4 times as many resistors. That's great. And these are used all over the place, so it's nice that we're getting them in massive stacks. Cool. So once that finishes cooking up, we should be able to make these processors very easily. So I'll grab our tin from the fluid extractor and put the tin in here. Grab some more. Oop, didn't want to do that. Grab some more of this wire, and I think that should be everything we need. All right. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. So we should be getting our first electronic processors, which actually, let me collect this quest. Oh, this is the link that I showed you before. This is originally how I found it, is when I played through this before. This is just that chart that I was showing you earlier. That also ended up messing up my recordings. Cool, and that will open up the quest line for the electronic processor, which we are getting a few of right now. But yeah, we should get 4 of these in total. Awesome, rocking through it. And that kind of ends this little leaf node that we were going down over here. So yeah, no more primitive processors, no more primitive circuits. We got a lot of good stuff going. And I will take the rest of this stuff out. Cool. I had some other things bookmarked. There's a variety of routes that I want to go down. I kind of was having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do. There's definitely some things we should get done before we try and enter the MV stage, although we are definitely getting very close to that. Throw away some of this stuff. So I think this is a very easy thing to do. We should get some item conduits going because that's something we're going to be using a lot of. It's just the item version of these ender fluid conduits that we're using over here. Just same concept where you can basically have different colors. I guess I really haven't gone over this, but yeah, these conduits are nice because you can have different colors and then basically channel multiple different items at the same time and filter pretty easily. You can also do actual filter up slots, and they're just highly customizable and useful for pretty much any type of item transfer in the game. So we can make some of those. That's pretty easy. And then this is the beginning of applied energistics I also want to get into. And then also deep mob learning. Now that we have a bit more power, that's something we can actually consider. And I would want to use deep mob learning because there's a lot of good stuff we can get. So basically how deep mob learning works is you make this simulation chamber, and then with RF and this thing called polymer clay, which is decently easy to make, we can get different pristine mob matter for different types of mobs. And then we use that in the loot fabricator, and you can get awesome items. Diamonds, a bunch of the basic ingots. Blaze rods is good too. But yeah, we can get lead and silver, gold. Sulfur is very easy to get. I didn't really realize you could get that. But yeah, there's tons of good stuff in here. You can get obsidian. We should be able to automate obsidian very easily. Right? I'm assuming you can turn this into... Maybe you can't turn that into actual blocks of obsidian, but... Yeah, there's a whole lot of good stuff. Ender pearls is really good to automate through this. So it's definitely something we're going to be doing. 600 Arvitech is nice, but I don't know if it's quite enough to do some of the stuff we want to do. But we could see. Okay, but first things first, I want to get into making these atom conduits, just because that's something we're going to want in the future. So let's make half a stack of this pulsating iron. And this is also getting through a lot of the beginning of the quest tab. We're getting pretty close to what seems like completing the beginning stage of the game. But a big thing you see down here, it says applied energistics to digital storage. That is a big one we're missing. And that is through here, I believe. So we'll get there. And then also deep mob learning will go up towards this this area. Something else I could also do is make a jetpack. I haven't given that too much thought yet, but it's certainly something we could do. Okay, cool. So we got some pulsating iron, and that's used for a variety of things. Give me those pennies. And now we should be able to make these item conduits pretty easily. We just need to turn it into wire. And then like we were doing with the ender fluid conduits, we can actually get 8 per craft instead of 4 in the assembler. Yeah. So we'll get some of this turned into wires. I'll do 9 in total, just so I have an even number. And then I'll grab some conduit binders, which we're actually running a bit low on. And then if we throw all of that into, or I guess by all of that, I just mean those 2 different items into here. Yeah, we should get some item conduits. And we're going to be using plenty of these. It is definitely the best thing in the pack for moving items around. Oh, it even gives you the little tip right there as well. Crafting the assembler instead of by hand gives twice as many, so there's really no reason not to do that. So we got item transfer. Something else I wanted to do before we get into deep mob learning is maybe get a basic capacitor bank. This is just an easier way to store RF other than using these, because these convert RF into, what's the GregTech type of energy? EU or GTEU, I believe. Like this gives a lot of storage power, and there is a way we could use a CEF, and then there's also a CEU, which is basically the opposite of a CEF. So yeah, the CEF does FE to GTU, and then the CEU does the other way around. So if we basically put one on top of the other, it could act as a forge energy bank, but we don't need that much storage yet. So I think just making those basic capacitor banks will work for now. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Oh, nice. That's a quality stack of item conduits we got there. I feel like every time I end an episode, I clear out a bunch of stuff out of this crate, and then I immediately fill it back up with other junk. That's why we're getting into applied energistics eventually, though, because that will make life a lot easier. But yeah, so to make this basic capacitor bank, we need a couple dark steel plates, some of these basic RF capacitors, which are pretty easy to make. And then also this power buffer, which involves iron plates, red alloy plates, and then some redstone. I think we might have both of those, right? Red alloy plates, iron plates. We have redstone. So we can make that a power buffer right now. And then we need to get, what is it, 4 of these. So we need some electrical steel nuggets and some tin wire. Do we have tin wire? I don't think so. Do we have electrical steel nuggets? Nope, not that either. So I'll just turn this into that. Get a bit of tin wire. What do we need? What do we want to do? 3 sets of these? Yeah, because we have 9 electrical steel nuggets. Yeah, I think that should work. And is that all we need? And then some capacitors. I'm using this bottom recipe because it makes 2 per. We also have vacuum tubes, but the capacitors are just a bit more efficient. And then these SMD capacitors are the best, but we have not gotten to that yet. Yeah, we need some stuff that we don't have, but we'll get there eventually. Cool. What was the other thing I needed? Capacitors. Maybe I don't have those actually. We're definitely going to need more eventually. Tin alloy foil. Sides of wire. Do we have tin alloy? Nice. I'll make a bit more of this. That JEI search function is very nice to have. So we'll get some of this, make some more capacitors, and then yeah, the base capacitor bank should be easy. Do I have dark steel plates? I don't think so. So we're going to need 4 of those. And then this goes in the cluster mill to make a bit more wire. And yeah, other than that, I think it should be relatively straightforward. Did the rest of my energetic alloy? It looks like it did. So this should be 2 full stacks of energetic alloy, I believe. I guess minus what we have used so far. Cool. Grab our dark steel plates and grab our tin alloy foil. And then we're going to need, what was it? Rubber and something else. Fine silver wire, which we have. And let's make a couple more capacitors. And then we can get 6 of these basic RF capacitors, which I believe is a quest. Yes, it is. And our basic capacitor bank, which is another quest. Nice. Oh, it looks like Grains of Infinity is also a quest, but I have already done that. So let me just grab some to trigger that. Hey, look, I have some. Do I need more? Hey, look, I have more. Maybe it wants a flint and steel. Ah, it does. Got one of those too. Nice. The things we do to get through these these different quests. All right, and that kind of is the end of the Ender IO stuff for the beginning tab. I wonder if that opened up anything over in this area though. Looks like it did, yeah. So yeah, it's opening up the next tier of advanced capacitor banks, which we can make decently easy. But we're not gonna worry too much about that as of right now. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the mid-game tab is open as well. I think I might have. Nothing important there yet, but that will definitely become more and more full as we go on. Cool. Okay, so we made this basic capacitor storage, which I was thinking, so we have our power output right here, and that's supplying this CEF over here and this CEF over here. So I was thinking we could also maybe pipe it upwards, and then if we had like a storage buffer right here, I think that should, yeah, that pops out in a decent location. We could maybe have some kind of deep mob learning set up here, or I was also thinking we could have our MV storage, happen somewhere around here as well. And then that might be just an easy place to have like power go up to each level, because then we can also bring it up to this one, which I haven't really cleared out yet, and kind of have our different levels of progression that way. It might be a decent way to go. But yeah, okay, so I can clear that stuff out. So yeah, actually, I'm not really sure how long this episode has been so far. Let me take a quick pause and check the time, and also figure out what I want to do next. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. So yeah, I'm on the top floor, and I just connected up my basic capacitor bank where I was kind of talking about. It's almost full already. This doesn't have that much of a internal buffer, but it is kind of annoying because I was having some issues with this a few episodes ago. The CEFs are taking priority, so I had just temporarily disabled these. I wonder if I enable them, if it will like be nice and not hog at all. So let me go see if it's still inserting up here, or if it's just going to be completely stopped. Yeah, it looks like it is stopped, unfortunately. So I want to figure something out about that. I think having some kind of buffer using these basic capacitor banks might be our best bet, because I think they might play nicer than just having the output go directly from the dynamos. So I'm a little cramped for space over here, if you couldn't tell. So maybe in our basement we can have some kind of like power buffer. That's not a bad idea. I might do that in between episodes and try to sort that issue out, because I think that would be something that would be good to have. But for now, we're not going to be using it that much. What I want to do is, I think, I want to try and get into the very beginnings of applied energistics. We're obviously not going to be setting up anything too crazy, but deep mob learning is nice, but it's not as critical as having this, like just getting the foundations for applied energistics down. So in our quest book, we have, in the beginning stage, we have this charger here. And this is basically the very beginning of applied energistics. We need this to create the special crystals that will be used to later make a lot of the applied energistics stuff. Yeah, we can get right into that. I don't know what this... Okay, I'm not going to get distracted by that. So this is pretty easy to make. We just need some dark steel plates and then also some Certus quartz plates. So if we grab some of our dark steel, we needed 5 of those. You can throw that in there. And let's see. Certus quartz, I looked around a lot in the Nether. I'm not sure if that's where it primarily spawns or if it's in the overworld and I just haven't came across it, but yeah, I've had no luck with it. So I'm gonna do what we're told to do and basically just get some. I might as well get a full stack as well. Oh, okay. We are set on Certus quartz. That was pretty dumb, but oof. All right, I don't think we're gonna have any issues on Certus quartz. I'm trying to think if there's any way to like revert what I just did, but I think I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I mean, I don't really know what else we're gonna spend these Omni nickels on, so it's not that big of a deal. I was just gonna get a bit and then throw in here and use my scanner to find more, but I have a feeling we're not gonna need much more. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, man. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since we have so many, 1,023 Certus quartz ore, and yeah, I believe that just gets smelted up. I mean, I can smelt up a bit more than that. Wow, that is brutal. So yeah, this gives us 2 per, so this will give us 4 stacks of Certus quartz. Man, I feel like an idiot. That is so much. I spent a whole stack of Omni nickels. So that's like 5 stacks of pennies. It's not that big of a deal, though. If we really find ourselves needing more, which I highly doubt we will. Actually, I haven't done this yet. There's something we can do. We can get this bounty board. And this thing is pretty nice. While this is smelting up anyway, I can talk about this a bit. Where can I put it? I don't foresee myself using it that much, so I'll just stick it here for now. But basically, this just like spawns these bounties, and they have a time to complete. And basically, they have a list of things to make, and then you can turn it in for currency. So these things are easy, like 10 wooden widgets and alloy widgets for 50 pennies. So like a wooden widget. These really aren't too hard to make. It's just kind of some micro crafting. And then alloy widgets. Yeah, they're not too bad. This is a little bit more expensive, but it's pretty easy to get more pennies if we want. And then there are some that you can get Omni quarters with and everything. So yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, cool. So we got some Certus quartz, and we want to basically turn those into plates. I'm just gonna get a stack of plates. Oh, I guess that's not how you do it. How can I get Certus quartz plates? Compactor, we cannot get that. We need mana, which we're pretty far off from getting into the thermal foundation machines. Okay, so we actually need Certus quartz dust, which can we... Okay, that should be easy enough. So we can just pulverize this right into Certus quartz dust. Cool. And then we can compress that into the plates. Nice. Okay, so we can erase the Certus quartz ore. We have plenty of that. We should be able to get our 2 Certus quartz plates pretty easily. And yeah, like I said, I am going to make a full stack of that because why not? And we should be able to make this charger now. Very exciting. And I am going to throw this up here next to the power bank, and that should give it enough power. Or we might need some conduits actually. Okay, it looks like that does have energy. You can see the 1 kAE. So yeah, Applied Energistics has its own energy buffer type thing, and there is something we'll make eventually. It's, what's it called? An energy cell? Yeah, an energy cell, and that can store Applied Energistics power. But to do that, we need to make some of this dusts and crystals first. Yeah, so this turns your Certus quartz crystals into charged Certus quartz. But to do that, first we're going to need to make Certus quartz crystals, of course. I'm not really sure what the autoclave is for. You'll need an autoclave for many recipes, including gems. Certus quartz crystals are made from here. Certus quartz crystals. I thought we didn't have to use one. Oh, looks like we do. So that's just taking Certus quartz and in an autoclave. Okay, so that's easy enough. So I guess on our docket right now is an autoclave. That should be easy enough to make. Good, we got some more pennies. We're going to need those now. So for this, we need a couple circuits, some steel plates, an LV machine hull. Do I have steel plates anywhere? Nope. Let me just make some. I feel like these Certus quartz plates take a very long time to compress. Okay, let's make another machine. We need wrought iron plates as well. Oh, we got them. Okay, phew. I was like, oh no, I'm not prepared for this stuff. Okay, we need that, a couple circuits, an electric pump. So the pump we need a motor for, which we are missing. We're just missing some copper wire. And then we need bronze plates too. Oh, I'm not prepared. Let me be right back. Let me let some stuff compress. All right, I believe I have the supplies now. So we need some of these medium bronze pipes, which I need my hammer for, which lives right here. And then some rotors as well, which I'm able to get 5, which is pretty nice. And now, okay, yeah, we can grab our pump now. It's very good. Can we make any more of these as well? Doesn't look like it. And I think that should do it for what we need to make this autoclave. Yes, that is. And we are actually out of space on our line here. I don't know if there are many more machines, so I think this might be okay, but time will tell. I'm sure there's something else we're gonna have to make and say, I don't know what to do. But yeah, autoclave is basically something to like soak things in things. That's a terrible analogy. But yeah, so we want to use this to basically get those Certus quartz crystals crafted. So we have more of these Certus quartz. So if we take a stack of this and put it in here, I'm not sure how much it takes per. It's like 250 per. So we're gonna need a bunch more water to do this. But yeah, that gives us our Certus quartz crystal, which I'm sure that's a quest somewhere. Maybe it involves other stuff as well. It might just be more down the line. Yeah, so now it gets into like the actual energy acceptor and then the crystal, sorry about that, then the crystal growth chamber, and we'll dive a little bit more into applied energistics. But yeah, looks like we're kind of setting up the tooling to go down that route. But I think it'll be a really nice thing to get up and running as quick as we can. So yeah, I think next episode we'll try to focus on AE a little bit more. I'm also thinking in between episodes, I'm going to, well, a couple things. I want to try and figure out how to evenly distribute power without different power buffers randomly taking priority over others. And then I might also just make another magmatic dynamo and upgrade it as much as I can, just because more power isn't going to hurt. And now that we have this was the real tough, getting the ender tank all set up. But now that we have that, we can kind of just expand on our magmatic dynamos. But since I've already made one of those on camera, I'd probably just do that in between episodes. But yeah, other than that, so yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Was that lightning out there? I thought we were in a desert. Maybe it's still, it doesn't rain, but maybe it still lightnings. That was interesting. Or maybe it was just some weird lighting glitch. But yeah, anyway, so today was another kind of a miscellaneous episode. But yeah, I think we've kind of decided we want to go down the applied energistics route and kind of get that going. So yeah, a little bit of AE today and more to come in the future. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today's episode, and I will see you on episode 12.